7 Effective Tips to Help Save a Relationship. Numerous connections that end don't end completely. Indeed, even a long time after the separation, individuals can participate in any case harbor a few affections for one another. This is the motivation behind why such a large number of individuals are making the inquiry referenced previously. I am here to give you a 3-question manage control that will enable you to answer the inquiry. Indeed, it is conceivable to get back with your ex, however you must make certain you are making the best choice. This is because separating for the second time could be much more destroying than the primary separation. Do you still love your ex? This is a vital inquiry you have to ask yourself. You need to comprehend the distinction between preferring somebody and cherishing the individual. Here and there it could simply be the happiness of seeing somebody you once dated that makes you think you are still infatuated. Get this out first. After you have, you answer the following inquiry. Does he or she convey an incentive for your life? If the individual does not suit the character of the individual you need, you should simply forget about everything. Here and there, you need to your brain in front of your heart in light of the fact that gone are the days when individuals used to state that affection as blind. Finally, and presumably the greatest one. Are the both of you willing to change a few parts of your life? Commonly, it is a result of a few things which you see as a component of your text chemistry review life that make your accomplice end the relationship. It could be your dressing, cooking, or some other thing. On the off chance that you will change and your ex isn't, the relationship won't work. You both need to set aside opportunity to examine these things. This is the ideal approach to decide if reconstructing an association with your ex is right. When it comes to settling a broken relationship, it can be a simple activity. You should simply make sense of how to set up the pieces back that made your association solid in any case. Maintain a healthy relationship. Try not to consider on the how part all so long. It's anything but a matter of how. It truly comes down to a matter of when. If it merits recovering your ex, at that point, you will discover the way to progress generally effortlessly. There might be 2 or 3 hindrances in the street, yet soon you will drive in the fast track. You ought not to see settling a broken relationship as a task or work. While numerous specialists will concur that is work, on the off chance that you see it that way, you will have a lot harder time assembling it back. Indeed, you likely have heard the expression, if it ain't broke, don't settle it. That is a genuine proclamation in many examples. Be that as it may, your relationship is broken or you wouldn't peruse this article in any case, isn't that so? Keep in mind when you initially met your life partner? You do. Keep in mind how firmly you felt about them. Love is an amazing feeling. It is presumably the most groundbreaking feeling on the planet. What's more, becoming hopelessly enamored is simple. Else, it would not occur to such huge numbers of individuals so regularly. What's more, propping the relationship up extraordinary was simple at that point, correct? Along these lines, if there is any shot for you to get back those incredible, in adoration, emotions, it is justified, despite all the trouble for you to take a bet at settling your broken relationship. You would feel terrible on the off chance that you didn't attempt by any means, wouldn't you? Here is the thing that you ought to do. You require an arrangement, a guide that has turned out to be effective at settling a broken relationship. A great many individuals have had battles with their friends and family. Also, more couples will separate later on. Some will win back their ex and others won't. Which bunch would you say you will be in? On the off chance that you make a move and pursue an arrangement that others have pursued, you will have an extraordinary possibility at settling your broken relationship. Getting your ex back isn't hard. It's simple, as long as you put your psyche to it and don't attempt to redesign the wheel. Simply utilize a demonstrated arrangement and keep a receptive outlook. Your ex-darling will be back in your arms, previously you know it. Did you realize that measurably almost 75% of connections wind up coming up short? It is safe to say that you are a piece of those insights or traveling toward that path? Would you like to abstain from turning into a measurement? On the off chance that you do, you have to realize it will take assurance and commitment from both you and your accomplice, paying little mind to what the issues are or who is to blame. Here is the thing that you ought to do. You require an arrangement, a guide that has turned out to be effective at settling a broken relationship. A great many individuals have had battles with their friends and family. Also, more couples will separate later on. Some will win back their ex and others won't. Which bunch would you say you will be in? On the off chance that you make a move and pursue an arrangement that others have pursued, you will have an extraordinary possibility at settling your broken relationship. Getting your ex back isn't hard. It's simple, as long as you put your psyche to it and don't attempt to redesign the wheel. Simply utilize a demonstrated arrangement and keep a receptive outlook. Your ex-darling will be back in your arms, previously you know it. Did you realize that measurably almost 75% of connections wind up coming up short? It is safe to say that you are a piece of those insights or traveling toward that path? Would you like to abstain from turning into a measurement? On the off chance that you do, you have to realize it will take assurance and commitment from both you and your accomplice, paying little mind to what the issues are or who is to blame. Preparing for romantic relationships. On the off chance that both you and your accomplice need to spare your relationship, continue understanding. I will give you 7 things or rules you can use to help spare a relationship. Nonetheless, both of you should be focused on following these rules and cooperating to determine the issues you are encountering in your relationship. This is first, since it is the most essential. Recall when you initially met. Would you be able to recollect how open your lines of correspondence were? Indeed, this is the primary thing that falls apart seeing someone. You need to begin being transparent with one another once more. This implies letting each other know your needs and wants, expressing your assessments, and letting each other know how you feel. Remain quiet. When issues emerge in your relationship, it is anything but difficult to get agitated and start contending. Rather than getting annoyed, endeavor to remain quiet and level-head, as discourteousness or destructiveness won't help and cause the issue to deteriorate, making it significantly harder to settle later. Give and take. Remember what they say, it takes two to tango, thus, you both should regard every other sea. If you give a bit, you could discover, you will receive a ton more consequently. Make a few objectives. Setting objectives will provide you guidance. Simply make certain the objectives reflect both of your perspectives and figure out what every one of you should do to accomplish them. Patience. Be quiet, as it requires investment to work out any issues you might understanding. When progressing in the direction of settling issues, you should be understanding with your accomplice and with yourself. Hurrying toward a goal will just adversely affect the relationship. Pardoning, that's correct, forgive and never look back, and relying upon the circumstance or issues within reach, this can be exceptionally hard to do. If you need the relationship to push ahead regardless of whether acts of unfaithfulness were included, you should excuse. Overlooking for this situation might be exceptionally troublesome, if not relatively unthinkable, but rather, must be done if you need to push ahead. It is basically you don't live before, however focus on at this very moment and what you and your accomplice can do to improve the relationship. Advising, you may not be in a circumstance yet that expects you to utilize this progression, yet on the off chance that you are, and you can let you know you are on the off chance that you can't move beyond stage 1, correspondence, you should think about an outsider to help. An advisor can help keep things quiet when you are examining things among you, and now and again, simply that seemingly insignificant detail of remaining quiet can get you past the halfway point and back on your way to a more joyful relationship. Remember that if both you don't concur and run with a receptive outlook, you might squander your time in this way. Concur first to see one at that point, make sure you run with a receptive outlook.